Magister of Humaniora. Miss Dwi, are you ready with
Yes, Pak.
Okay, thank you. The
Yes,
topic is translation shift. Okay, time and place is yours, Miss Dwi.
Sudah kelihatan Pak Mujazin?
Okay. Visible. Yeah. Clear.
Clear?
Very clear.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much Pak Mujazin on the given time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All participant Bapak Ibu.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Terima kasih. Thank you so much Pak Mujazin. In this time I would like to share English translation shift to Indonesian. Yeah, to Indonesian. Yeah, I think this topic is maybe new for you or not, but it is very important in translation field. Yeah, and the objective of this here, my objectives are the participant understand the concept of translation and also understand the concept of translation shift and their application for research on translation. Bentar ya. Wait a minute. Introduction here. English term translation first attested in around 1340. Derivative from Old French translation and also from Latin translatio. I don't understand how should pronounce this. It's coming from the participle of verb transferi, to carry over. And in translation terms, yeah, in translation terms, there are three concepts. Yeah, the first concept is general subject field or phenomenon, like a translation subject in a department, English department, we have translation subject. Then secondly, product, the product of translation from English to Indonesian or the others. And the third is process. The process here is the process of producing translation, otherwise known as translation or translation service. And in this occasion, actually, there are correlation between the first, second, and also third. Yeah, but I would like to focus in the third. One of the translation concept here is translation is transferring the message of such language into the target language equivalently. Equivalently here, or message equivalence, both in style and also meaning. Here we have keywords or key phrases, transferring the message. The key kuncinya itu di sini, transferring the message. Transferring the message from such language to the target language. Then how should be the result? Should be equivalent, yeah, should be equivalent, both in style and also meaning. Style here usually refers to the style of text and also the style of author, yeah, because original text or source language text has special style or specific style depends on the authors and also depends on the types of the text. For example, when the text is fiction, will be different with scientific text. Yeah. This is the concept of translation. So the main point is message equivalence, atau dalam bahasa Indonesia itu kesepadanan pesan. Ya. Kesepadanan pesan yang ditekankan juga harus melihat stylenya, gaya penulisnya seperti apa, gaya teksnya seperti apa, apakah teks fiksi, teks non-fiksi, teks formal, teks tidak formal, teks deskripsi, teks genre-genre yang lain. Kemudian message atau meaning ini hubungannya dengan message tadi. Ya. So in translating text, usually we should analyze first the text or the content of text in such language. Then after we grasp the message, next express the message in the target language that should be equivalent in style and also meaning. Sorry. To gain equivalent or to gain message equivalent, usually translator use some ways or strategies, method, techniques, and one of them is SAFE or translation SAFE. What is translation SAFE? Sorry, SAFE. Yeah, translation SAFE. Why translation SAFE? Because source language and target language usually have different system. Yeah, different system. For example, English and Indonesian both have different system, not only in structure but also in composing words. Yeah, from words or all unit of linguistics, from word up to paragraphs. Yeah. So translation here are linguistic changes occurring in translation of source language into the target language. Translation shift can be divided into 4 category or class shift, intra-system shift, level or unit shift, and structural shifts. Actually, there are also 2 more shifts, yeah, stylistic shift and meaning shift, but I don't deliver in this occasion. Yeah. First is category shift or class shift. A category or class, of course, here refers to class of word, or in structure usually called as part of speech. Yeah. So class shifts here, this comprise shifts from one part of speech to another. Directly, I give the examples here. Yeah. Like here, but they went through this fiction every day. Here is from one of novel. Dan tetapi mereka suka berkhayal setiap hari. Through when this fiction actually here, literally we can translate mereka membaca fiksi setiap hari. But in this context, yeah, in this context, the writer or the author means mereka suka berkhayal. Through when through this fiction here means suka berkhayal atau berkhayal. So here from fiction, yeah, when I take one word only, fiction here can be translated into berkhayal. Yeah. So from noun into verbs. Ini mudah-mudahan tidak ento-ento saya nih. And then second examples, you are already a man. Ya, you are already a man. Kau telah dewasa sekarang. Ya, kau telah dewasa sekarang. A man, ya, a man here is noun, ya, because a here. Then kau telah dewasa, ya, dewasa is adjective in Indonesian. Although it can be verbs, ya, verbs of adjective in Indonesian. Then third examples, then he will turn and swallow it. He thought. Ya. Kemudian ia akan membalik dan menelannya, pikirnya, ya. Pikirnya berarti pikiran milik dia gitu. Ya, pikiran milik dia. Ya. Ini he thought itu verbs berubah menjadi noun. Masih banyak contoh, ini nanti akan saya tayangkan di tabel dari temuan penelitian yang saya lakukan, Bapak Ibu. Bentar. Dan intra-system shift. Intra-system shift here, these are shifts that take place when the source language and the target language possess approximately corresponding system, but where the translation involves selection of non-corresponding terms in the target language system. As I said in the previous that English and Indonesian have different system, different system. So it also influence when we translate from Indonesian to English or English to Indonesian. And intra-system shift here, so that system, intra-system shift. So here is pergeseran di dalam sistem itu, ya, seperti tadi katakan bahwa sistemnya berbeda, maka di dalam menerjemahkan juga akan ada perbedaan atau pergeseran yang ada di dalam sistem itu. Intra-system shift here usually occurs in nouns and also verbs. Why verbs? Because verbs in English and Indonesian, I mean the predicate, ya, predicate consists of verbs or verbs different between Indonesian and English. In English, we depends on tenses, but not in Indonesian. Yeah. And the second is noun. Yeah, noun. We have plural and singular noun. And the examples here, they pick up the gear from the boot. Mereka pun mengambil alat-alat. Ya, jadi ini kalau kita lihat di sini ini singular, ya, singular. But here refers to plural. And Indonesian should be alat-alat peralatan, ya, gitu. Ini ada pergeseran, ya. Ini harus ada pengulangan, because the marker of plural in Indonesian can be repetition. Salah satunya itu ya diulang, ya diulang. But in English with S or AS. Ya. Then second have radius. Sorry, ini yang mana? And puts here, punya radio dan di perahu. Ya. When we have a look in English here, nouns here is plural, ya, radius and boats. But in Indonesia or Indonesian here, radio, perahu, biasa, ya, singular. Ini hanya dua contoh, Bapak Ibu. Yang tadi di dalam bahasa, yang di verbs itu tidak saya berikan contohnya, tetapi kita tahu bahwa ada tenses in English but not in Indonesian. When we tell our activity this morning, for example, we use past, but when we want to tell for our next activity, we will use will, but not in Indonesian ya. Nah itu nanti saya kira Bapak Ibu juga paham betul itu. Tidak saya berikan contoh Bapak Ibu karena keterbatasan waktu ya. Oh ini contohnya, ternyata sudah saya tuliskan, maaf. Ini contohnya Bapak Ibu, nanti bisa dilihat ini ya, tidak saya sampaikan saja. Kemudian yang berikutnya unit or level shape. Unit shape or rank shape or level shape here, these are shape where the translation equivalent in the target language is at the different rank to the source language. Rank here refers to the hierarchical linguistic unit or linguistic unit ya of sentence, clause, group, words, and morpheme. The example is like this.
You have 5 minutes more.
Oke, kita lihat sekilas saja Bapak Ibu ya. Ini commonly translate into tidak jarang terjadi. Then loved translated into sayang sekali. Would have wanted translated into menginginkan. Accurately translated into secara tepat. Jadi ada pergeseran tataran Bapak Ibu, ini level namanya level shape, pergeseran tataran. Mulai tataran mungkin dari sentence ke clause, dari clause ke phrase, dari phrase ke word atau sebaliknya begitu ya. Dan ini selalu terjadi Bapak Ibu, pasti ada itu di dalam terjemahan, tidak mungkin tidak ada. Kemudian yang berikutnya atau yang terakhir itu structural shape Bapak Ibu. Langsung contohnya Bapak Ibu, structural shape itu terjadi pada grammatical structure started from phrase ya. The linguistic problem translated into problema linguistik tadi. Kemudian vocabulary problem, problema kosakata. Jadi ada pergeseran atau ada perbedaan, difference word order between English and Indonesian or Indonesian and English. Ya, different word order. Nah, ini sekilas Bapak Ibu kalau kita melihat terjadinya itu begini nih. Kategori ya atau kategori shape itu bisa noun, ini bahasa Indonesia Bapak Ibu. Noun itu nomina, verb verba ya. Nomina ke verba plus lah. Nomina ke adjektif plusnya plus pun, nomina ke adjektiva atau adverbia, kemudian nomina ke pronomina plusnya, nomina ke artikula yang, nomina ke artikulasi, nomina dan artikel si, adjektif, nomina, artikel si, dan seterusnya Bapak Ibu ya. Ini yang kategori shape. Yang intrasystem shape itu nomina jamak ke tunggal, nomina tunggal ke jamak. Nah, kemudian yang tataran atau yang level shape ini sengaja diberikan istilah Indonesianya biar Bapak Ibu juga kenal ya, di linguistik kita. Nomina ke ungkapan idiomatik, nomina ke nomina majemuk, nomina ke frasa verba, nomina ke frasa adjektiva, dan seterusnya. Ini yang terjadi pada teks fiksi. Kemudian pada teks non-fiksi terjadinya lebih sedikit Bapak Ibu. Nah, ini kita tahu bahwa ciri bahasa fiksi dengan ciri bahasa ilmiah. Ini yang noun. Kemudian yang yang ini verbs juga terjadi. Verb itu hanya terjadi pada kategori shapes. Kemudian level shape Bapak Ibu seperti ini terjadinya. Kemudian ini contoh yang ada di adjektif terjadinya kategori, kemudian level seperti ini ya. Tidak ada structural shape. Kemudian di sini Bapak Ibu adverbs juga mengalami kategori shape dan juga level shape. Ini yang di novel, ini yang di teks ilmiah atau teks linguistik. Apa yang saya sampaikan itu Bapak Ibu hanya bagian kecil dari 2 halaman di buku Introducing Translation Studies, Theories and Application yang seperti ini, kalau Bapak dan Ibu nanti mengendaki, bisa saya kirimkan juga. Thank you very much for all the attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Pak Mujazin.
Thank you,
Waalaikumsalam.
welcome Miss Dwi Haryanti for presenting the material about translation. Of course, this is different from other topics. Yeah, number 1 is about teaching. Number 2 about the literature. Number 3 about translation. Now the forthcoming presentation is also about the teaching. Who is she? She is Miss Sahara Dina Amalia, Magister of Education. Okay, time and place is yours, Miss Sahara. 20 minutes.
Oke, thank you Pak Mujazin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.